Hi, I'm Drew, and it's National Water Week. Yes, this is an important week. Why? Because we're made of water, right? We're made of two things, carbon and water. Basically, soil and water, right? The soil is so important to us, but so is water. We're made of 75, 80% water. Our brains are 90, 95% water. So it's really an important week for all of us just to pause for one moment and recognize that we are one big filter. And as you might see in some of the videos I do, I talk about that because we're one big filter and we're made of water, we should be flushing our bodies with good clean water. Now, we're blessed to live in America. I mean, we want to celebrate the fact that we were born in America, I think. I mean, we were so blessed because in America we have 4.3% of the population, but we have 7% of the fresh water in the world at our fingertips. Lake Michigan right here in Chicago, that's one of the biggest water supplies ever. So we're really fortunate to have this good clean water. And based on this little bit of history, I want to share with you some of the things that have changed over the years. In 1885, Chicago had a cholera epidemic. And that's where legend says 80,000 people died as a result of raw sewage backing up into Lake Michigan. And yet the city dragged that water back in with that sewage, and they sent it to people's homes, and they were drinking it, and they did pass away. I don't know if that's true or not, but it is the purpose, or that's the reason why cities started adding chlorine to the water supply. And guess who was the first one to do it? Chicago, right? And so Chicago, and I think it was New Jersey, were the first two cities in the country to start to add just a small amount of chlorine to the water in order to help control bacteria and waterborne disease. So it was a wonderful invention, wonderful concept, and we're blessed to be able to have that as a result of it. But as time went on, major corporations and industry and the cities themselves dumped raw sewage into the waterways. And what happens? That sewage would go downstream or it'd go out into Lake Michigan, and they'd pull that water back in, and it was causing issues. Also, those issues included a fire that occurred outside of Cleveland on the waterway that created a national uproar of, oh my God, what's happening here? What's happening to our waterways, which is our source of fresh water? So the federal government acted by 1948 by enacting a Freshwater Pollution Control Act. Now that said, that stopped industry and cities from dumping their raw sewage into the waterways, which was a wonderful act that Congress did. By 1972, they needed to strengthen that, and they created what was called the EPA, and they started with the Clean Drinking Water Act, or Clean Water Act of 1972. By 1974, they published the Safe Drinking Water Act, where they started to come out with water test results, or water tests that the cities had to meet. That was in 1972, right around the time I was born. So that's kind of crazy, it was that long ago, right? By 1986, they did strengthen that with the Safe Drinking Water Act, and that's where they started talking about no lead in water. Now that's important here in Chicago because the city of Chicago, with its brilliance that they had, they continued to use lead in our water supplies or putting the pipes together until 1986 when the federal government said enough is enough. Other major cities like New York and LA stopped in the 60s or 50s. So it tells you that we have a concern with lead in the Chicagoland area in our water supply, supplies. By 2011, all of a sudden this great movie came out called Erin Brockovich Story. You guys remember that? Julia Roberts won her Best Actress Award. It made everyone aware of this other chemical that's in our water supply called hexavalent chromium 6. It's the byproduct of steel industry. So here she made us more aware of it, and in 2011, California actually set a public goal of 0.02 parts per billion for hexavalent chromium 6 to be in their water supply. That was their target. By 2012, the EPA said that they were going to come up with their regulation. Still hasn't happened. 2022, we still don't have it. So 10 years later, we still don't have any standard by which our cities should be meeting that. In addition to that, if you guys all saw Mark Ruffalo in Dark Waters, wow, that was a big blockbuster, right? What was that talking about? forever chemicals, PFOAs, PFASs. There's so much of that in our water supply. That came from 3M and from DuPont, right? All this is permeated our water, yet we still don't have a standard. So if that concerns you, if you really believe that you're one big filter and you want to do a little bit more for yourself and for your family, give us a call. Because we really truly believe that either you are a filter or you buy a filter. And if you're interested in a little assistance on that, we can give you direction on which direction to go. If you'd like to lean on us, we'd be happy to help you. We do systems like what you see under here, certified, NSF certified reverse osmosis systems. NSF 58 is the certification we'd be looking for. We'd be happy to help direct you in that field and help you and your family. So again, I'm Drew. You can always contact us at 847-382-7800, or you could visit us on the web at angelwater.com. Thanks so much and happy Water Week.